Hey everybody, Matt Hodges here. Got some notes on this book that we're going to review today. I'll start out by saying, well, first, traveling this week, and it actually gave me a pretty cool opportunity to one, finish a new book on the way down, and before down, I say I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the rest of this week. Today is Wednesday. I'm going to be here through the weekend. So when you're watching this, obviously you're not going to know what today is, but I'm down at a leadership conference for Michigan Realtors. I just did my first board meeting as a Michigan Realtors board member today. As a lot of you know, leadership has been part of my, well, let me not say leadership necessarily. Service has been part of my life for quite a while. Some of you may know I served in the U.S. Navy as a reservist. I went in as a bosun, and then bosun mate, and then crossed over to a CB. So that's just part of the service area of my life. And then now just finished up my presidency for the local board in Traverse City for the Aspire North Realtors. I was the president for 2022. And here I am. Never thought I'd be at the state level for directorship at Michigan Realtors, but here I am. And so a lot of this transition or this growth that I'm going through right now is purposeful. I want to, as we're going to talk about in this book, how to give more of myself when it comes to both knowledge and time and effort to you, to the people that are looking to maybe do the same thing, not specifically as far as Michigan Realtors or real estate service, but to anybody looking to up their game, if you will. So we're going to talk today about a book that was turned on to me by my real estate coach, William Huffman. Shout out. William's been a great influence in my life as of pretty recently, the fall of 2022. And I said I wanted to start down this path, and he gave me some suggestions. In fact, you can hear my phone going off. That's him texting me right now. But he gave me this book. He gave me several books, and some of these are going to be what we review here in the next several weeks. But the book, The Go-Giver, first of all, we'll go through this and I'll talk about some things, but what I'm going to ask of you guys is to give me some suggestions when we're reviewing these books, when I'm walking you through these books and what it means to me. I'd like to come up with some questions that you're going to know every time, the questions that I will ask and answer myself when it comes to these books and how they relate to me or what I brought from those books. So from that, the questions that we'll ask today to start this process is, what is the book? What are the key takeaways from the book itself? How did this book relate to me? And give you some thoughts on how I implemented some of the things in the short term and how I look at those in the future. Give you some real life examples on what specifically on this one we're implementing now. And then the third one is, why should you read this? And I'm hoping by the time we get to that one, you're already a little amped up. And just like I was when I started reading this book, I really glommed onto it and wanted to continue going. So, again, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be able to take some time when everybody else is out doing their thing tonight. I decided to come back and start this process for you guys. This is just as much for me as I hope you get out of it too. This is a great way for me to learn and get a little bit better from a leadership standpoint on my own. So bear with me as we get this thing going, but here we go. So the book, The Go-Giver, it was written by Bob Berg and John David Mann. There's a series of these books, and we'll actually talk about a couple more of them as we go on, but not in this video. So what is this book? What are the key takeaways of this book, and why? And some more thoughts when we go through them. So there are five laws in this book of how you can give a little bit more of yourself than what you expect in return. So number one, the law of value. So what this means is the real worth is how much more value you can give than you can expect to receive back from that. So a little bit on that. If you give a little bit more of yourself, whether it's knowledge or time, and it could be in other aspects too, but how can you give without question of what you're going to gain back? So if you think about that a little bit deeper, just an idea here is I'm helping by reading these books, and hopefully, obviously I'm not going to give away everything because I want you to read them and feel the passion that this book gave me. But how much value can you give to somebody else without expecting anything in return? That's a pretty cool thought, and a lot of this on its surface is like, well, how are you going to get any better by doing that? And again, I want you to read this book and feel it for yourself, but that's a really cool one to start this. And as we go down these five, you'll notice a lot of them are pretty similar, but how you interpret and practice these change the meaning. So number two, law of compensation. Income is decided on the number of people that you serve and how you do that and how you serve them. So the more people that you can help selflessly, the more people you can help, the more that you will get in return. So this is based on income. So if you're giving your time, your energy, and maybe money to somebody or something without expecting anything in return, those traditionally come back to you in tenfold, or whatever the X amount is. You'll definitely see a little bit more return on your time and energy and money if you're focusing on others and building your value up in their mind. Number three, influence. How abundantly you place others first. So again, goes back to law number one and number two. Like I said, a lot of these are pretty similar, but how abundantly you do that, how often. It's not just, hey, I'm going to do this Monday at 11 o'clock for an hour and give myself to somebody or something or this one thing, but how abundantly can you do that for somebody else? And it's a mindset shift in saying, no, not just once, but this is how I'm going to live my life. So how abundantly can you do that? Number four, authenticity. So this is a really cool one and goes back to the word that I use, mindset shift. So being authentic, being yourself, you don't have to change who you are, but it's a mindset shift to becoming a better version of yourself by giving to others. So be authentic, be you when you're doing this. We all talk about idols and things like that. It's with Instagram and social media so big right now. We're always trying to be somebody else and doing these other things. And I'll steal something from a book, actually a speech, and then a book from John Maxwell that says, somebody came up to him at a conference one time and said, I want to be you. I want to do what you do. And he said, well, are you willing to do what I did? And so everybody wants to be this person and do these things, but to be authentic, to be you and do the things that are necessary. And in this case, it is giving to others. It's giving yourself to others in the knowledge and the time and the expertise that you have. And number five, receptivity. So, okay, so I'm going to give myself, I'm going to do all these things, all these four laws. How am I going to get anything back without expecting anything back? Well, receptivity is being open to receiving. It's not asking, it's not demanding, but it's being open to it. So we always think about like that door that opens. Are we prepared when that door opens? Well, receptivity is that door that's open, and you're open to receiving whatever may come through that door. So think about those things. Those are pretty cool. So we'll go on to the second question. We'll recap. Law of value, law of compensation, law of influence, law of authenticity, and the law of receptivity, being open. How did this book relate to me? So I find myself, I'm actually going to read this because I was just chicken scratching it down, but I want to read what I wrote here. I found myself wanting to give more, but it's hard. It's sometimes really hard to do in changing that mindset. So it's difficult to change mindset, but it's necessary if you're looking to grow in whatever you're looking to grow in, whether it's your own business or as an employee or a relationship. You have to change that mindset so you can be open, you can be receptive. So if you're giving, if you're doing all these things, it's hard to do that, but it's something you got to focus on. And my friend Justin Ford says get 1% better every day. If you can work on that just a little bit every day, that compounds and makes that a lot easier. And of course, in return, you should see, or you will see, that receptivity, right? You should see that stuff coming back. If we focus on others, add value, we will open ourselves up to receiving more, and usually easier when we do. So we talk about, in my business, we talk about referrals, our database and our past clients, those people that refer us because they know us, our authentic selves and how we treat people and give to people, those things that come back, and in my case, referrals, that's so much easier to work with when it's a warm introduction. So if you can put it into a business sense. So the application to this and how I took this and giving more value. Well, first is part of this video series, this review series, wanting to read. And of course, this is helping me in my endeavors and opening my mind to all these different thoughts and how I can improve myself. But I'm also giving this information to you. And of course, I'm encouraging you to read all these books. And when you look in the comments or into the below this video, you'll see the links of the book and you can go and get your own. But also another application for this is adding value. So if you're not in our database, if you're not seeing our weekly emails from our newsletter, we're giving value in that every single week. It's something that we can give to our clients and our friends and our realtor agents that sign up for this. We add value every time. And it's just free information that we can give all the time. And so if we look at it this way from my business, it's adding value every time, every opportunity that we can. So why should you read this, right? So I've hopefully you learned a little bit in this, and of course I'm passionate about it, and I hope you can hear that coming through. Is that this book actually changed a good part of who I am? And I read this book not that long ago, but the things about it talk to the service side of me, the thought process, and how I want to serve others. It spoke to me a lot. So I hope it does to you too. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your life. It's a book that you can relate to any part of your life and apply it. If you're struggling in your business or life, what do you have to lose? That's what I wrote. So that's what I'm going to say. What do you have to lose? So if you're struggling in any aspect of your life, and you're like, how can I get better? Why don't you take a little look at how to give more? Take a look at this book. It's not a hard read. It's not a big one. I listen to it on Audible because I'm in the car a lot. But the book itself is not very big. So if you're into reading, check it out. What do you have to lose? That's a great one. So be open to new ideas, and you'll be surprised what you'll find. I love this book. I love the series of them, the stories that they do. In this specific book, they talk about a struggling salesperson that's missing his quarterly projections, and he gets introduced to this gentleman that was wildly successful. Didn't think that he'd be able to meet him, and he got a chance to meet him. And this gentleman walked him through these 5 laws in 1 week and asked him to apply these laws every day that they met. He was introduced to several different key leaders in the area, was astounded by who they were and how they got to where they are. And honestly, they were all connected. They're all doing the same things. And it's a real life situation. If you put that into some aspects of your life, or maybe you see people in the community that are doing these similar things. I have a mentor in my life that I'm at where I'm at now because of one person that did a lot of these things. And I didn't know it until I read some of this stuff, and it just clicked for me. So I encourage you to read The Go-Giver by Bob Berg and John David Mann. This is my first book review. I hope you enjoy it. I hope they get better as we go. We'll get a little bit more polished. But until next time, read on. That just came out. I don't know if that's going to be a tagline, but hey, it just came out, so we're going to use it. Thank you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, night, wherever you're at. Subscribe to the channel if you can. We're going to be doing these once a week, 52 books in 2023. Thank you.